beloveds. Good evening, my beautiful soul family. Happy Sunday evening. It's already 9 p.m. here in the West Coast. It's past midnight in the East, so it's already Monday in the East Coast. And depending on what side of the world you are, it's probably already Monday. So even though it's 9 p.m., it's pretty late at night, I still wanted to come on today. First and foremost, to wish everyone a happy Easter, hoping that everyone had a great Easter Sunday. For those of you that do celebrate Easter, I know we all don't. But whatever it is that you celebrate today, I hope you had a great Sunday. I come to you tonight just to deliver a message. Spirit says, revise your life by revising your circle. Revise your life by revising your circle. Now, there's so many ways to interpret this message. There's so many ways to look at it. So much to read off of that. But I didn't want tonight to end. I did not want tonight to come to its conclusion without me sharing this message that I've been having inside for a while now. And what better day than days such as today, Sunday, Easter Sunday, even though it's late at night, to just lay down this message, this vibration, this energy, in hopes that it touches the heart and the mind of whomever needs it the most. It is my hope that whatever it is that Spirit needs to share with you in this moment reaches the heart, the soul, the inner spirit of whomever needs to receive this message the most. Spirit says, revise your life by revising your circle. As I was cleansing my altar, doing my prayer, connecting with Spirit, the message came again, revise your life by revising your circle. I've been wanting to share this message, actually, not just today, for a while now, but I said, you know what, it's 9 p.m., it's going to be 9 p.m., it's late. Most people are either still celebrating their Easter Sunday or maybe resting at home, and the last thing they want to hear is me at 9 o'clock at night or midnight in the East Coast or wherever else you're at. But you know what? I don't come on here for the numbers. I don't come on here just to see how many people can log on and how many people can. That's not my high. I get high from connecting with Spirit. I get high by allowing Spirit's vibration to flow through me the best way I can as a willing vessel that shows up best way I know how to, for Spirit, in Spirit's name, and through Spirit's power. So that being said, I repeat, revise your life by revising your circle. It comes to me that some of us are struggling with continuing to move forward with the remainder of this year. We are already in the 4th month of the year. 4th month, April. This year is going by faster than we could imagine. But, needless to say, though the months are going by, listen to what Spirit is saying. Though the months are going by, some situations that you're living through, experiencing in this moment are not going by. They're right there. They're parked. They're parked right there, stuck, seemingly immovable, seemingly unable to get better, seemingly unable to see any clarity in the situations that afflict your mind or your heart. When this happens to us, we then walk into a phase of anxiety, desperation, depression, confusion, second guessing ourselves, not liking life too much, because the things that we want, desire to move, the things that we desire to get better seem to be stuck. And I'm wondering, what's going on that so many of us are trying so hard to do things best way we know how to, and yet we're still stuck. And yet things aren't changing. And yet we're still going through the fields of different experiences, whether it was a job loss, whether it was the loss of a loved one, whether it's a relationship that came crumbling down right before your eyes, whether it is a disconnect that you have with your child, whether it is an afflicting situation with your family member, with your parent or whomever, whether it is some financial issues that are really driving you crazy and very pressing to you in this moment. Whatever the situation is, Spirit tells me that though the months are going by, your situation seems to not be moving along as quickly as you would like, as quickly as you pray for, as quickly as you have attempted for it to be. Well, for this I say, it is a must. This is not even, I'm sorry to lay it down like this, but let me tell you, this is not even something that it could even be debatable. Spirit is telling us tonight, for whomever this message is for, you must revise your life by revising your circle. You see, there are places and spaces that Spirit, the divine, God, Mother Goddess, the Creator, whomever it is for you, wants to introduce you to. There are places in your life, Spirit, your divine source wants to take you to, but you are in the wrong circle. You are in the wrong circle. And because you are in the wrong circle, the blessings that you pray for, all the candles that you light, the intentions that you write, the spiritual baths that you take aren't helping. Then there's a disconnect between your reality, what you're living through, what you are experiencing. It's clashing against what you are attempting to do. And you don't see where it's coming from. Well, allow me, if you may, to tell you that perhaps, though you may not like the message, though you might be in a stage of frustration and confusion, you might be in the wrong circle. You might be in the wrong circle. The blessings have not arrived not because you don't deserve them. The blessings have not arrived not because you're not intelligent. The blessings have not arrived not because you don't have the capacity. The blessings have not arrived not because you're not gifted. The blessings are being retained, held back from you, because you are part of a circle that Spirit says won't promote the growth that you deserve. I say deserve, not need. This is about what we deserve, not about what we think we need. There's a major difference between what we feel we need versus what we deserve. And this, Spirit has been hitting me heavy today and part of this week with this message. And even though it's late at night, I repeat myself, even though it's late at night, 9 o'clock at night, I wasn't here. I'm not here for the numbers to see who signs on, who logs on, or who doesn't. I'm here to deliver a message, whoever needs to get it. Whoever Spirit wants this message to apply to, I trust in Oricha. I trust in Egun. I trust in my spirit guides. I trust in my divinities that it will reach you, whoever you are. I don't know you. But Spirit does, the divine does, the universe does, Mother Goddess does. Revise your life by revising your circle. You'd be surprised how many of us have been deprived of our blessings. You'd be surprised how many of us have been living in restrictions, thinking, believing, feeling that God doesn't listen to us, that Olodumare ignores our supplications, that the candles we light have no effect, that our godparents are not good, that whatever the excuse that we make up, and yet we don't realize that it has nothing to do with how much we're praying. It has nothing to do with how many candles we're lighting. It has nothing to do with how many weekly spiritual baths we take. It might, in your situation, if this message is meant to reach you, if it's meant to reach you, if this message is for you, perhaps your restrictions are based on your circle. The circle that you refuse to let go of. The circle that you seem to feel that you don't know how to get out of. The circle that you feel shamed about letting go. How about that? Yes, I said shamed. Why? Because some of you, I don't know who you are. And before I say what I'm about to say, if you're new to my platform, number one, I welcome you from the bottom of my heart. If you don't know me, I am a strong believer of unity. I am a strong believer of family units, how important they are. So I hope that what I'm about to say, because Spirit is pushing me to say this, does not get misconstrued, does not get redressed into thinking that I'm not an advocate for unity and family, love. Quite the contrary. Whoever knows me, and I see a couple of my godchildren on here, I'm a family person. I love the feeling, the energy, the vibration of family. I just love family. That being said, let me say what I was about to say. It might hurt you to know, to accept, to realize that your worst enemy might be your own family. It might hurt you to accept and realize that the very people you want to support you, to love you, to accept you, to hold space for you, to understand you, are the very same ones that are holding you back from your blessings. And then you feel guilty. Something inside of you feels guilty or shamed from letting them go, because you feel you're not a good daughter, because you feel you're not a good sister, because you feel you're not a good son, because you feel you're not a good brother, because you feel you're not a good, a niece or a grandchild, whatever the case might be. Something inside you, that inner child inside you, keeps you restricted in a place that spiritually you are supposed to outgrow. Your blessings are being held back, not because you're not talented, not because you're not worthy, not because you're not beautiful enough, intelligent enough, capable enough, deserving enough. Quite the contrary, my loves. Your Blessings are being held back, Spirit says, because you are in a circle that consumes you, that sucks you dry, that drains you, that blocks you. Isn't it funny that each and every time you get inspired, I don't know who this is for, but each and every time you get inspired to do something big, it's the very same ones around you that turn you off. It's the very same ones around you that seem to be so desinteresado, disinterested, or lacking interest in your vision, in your plan, in your desire, in your idea. And what happens is that whether it's family or your circle of friends, whomever they are, one of the first things that certain people do is remind you of where you came from. That's one of the first shit people do. They want to continue reminding us of where we come from. They want to continue reminding us what we used to do, where we used to go, how we used to live, in an attempt to, according to them, in an attempt to, strike reality, give us a reality check. That ain't no reality check. That is their inability to think outside the box. That is their inability to see that life can get better. That's their inability to see that you don't have to be restricted to the ailments and infirmity of the lineage, of the generational baggage that you and I grew up in. You cannot talk to business. You cannot talk about business to a family member or to a friend that has no aspiration of having a business. You can't speak about a degree with someone that lost hope about having a degree. You can't speak about changing professions to somebody that is wired into thinking that life won't be any good unless you're stuck to a 9-to-5, Monday to Friday, investing in your 401k. You can't talk to people that don't understand the vibration you are in. Though you love them, though it might be your mom, though it might be your father, your grandfather, your granny, your auntie. They don't understand where you're supposed to be. They don't understand where you're heading. They don't understand where Spirit is guiding you to. And I am here to tell you, it's okay for them to not understand. It's okay for them to not understand, and it's not okay for you to stay stuck just to make them feel good. Just to make them feel good. Is there anyone here tonight, out of the 45 of us that are here, is there anyone here tonight that understands what Spirit pushed me to come on here tonight to say? Can anyone understand this? Does anyone agree with what Spirit is sharing with us tonight? Because I feel the vibes, and I don't want to be the only one feeling this vibe. I feel in Spanish, in Espiritismo, Spanish Spiritism, Afro-Cuban, not Spanish, Afro-Cuban Spiritism, we call it fluido, we call it corriente. Corriente, the literal translation of the word corriente, Spanish word corriente to English is electricity, corriente, electricity, right? So, but in Spiritism, we say, siento una corriente, I feel electricity, and electricity is significant of positive or strong vibration from Spirit. And I feel it so heavy as I'm delivering this message. I feel it so heavy. I don't know who I'm talking to. I have the foggiest idea who this message is for. I never know who the message is for, because as Spirit has always reminded me since I was very young, it ain't your business who the message is for, as long as I got to where it was supposed to get to. So I'm hope that all this electricidad, esta corriente, this electricity that I'm feeling in my body. I hope it's not in vain, and I hope it's not just something that I'm making up in my mind, because I feel that someone on here tonight needs to know this. Even though, I'll be honest with you, even though I also feel that to whomever this message is for, this is not new news to you. You were not just introduced to this truth. I refuse to believe that you have tonight, or maybe for all I know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it is the first time you maybe hear it like this, but I feel that you already know, and you just don't know how to get out. You just don't know how to open that door and not look back. You know, I don't believe that you are aware that you can walk out and not feel guilty about walking out. You have the capacity to do that. For everything that we feel, look at what Spirit is saying now. For everything that we feel from a negative aspect, we have the capacity to feel it in a positive way. We have the ability to transform it into something positive. Negativity, my beloved soul family, negativity always has a messenger. Did you hear that? Let that sink in your brain. Are you getting what Spirit is throwing out there? Negativity always has a messenger. Did you hear that? Because I hardly have ever heard Spirit say something like that before. Negativity always has a messenger. I got to think about that for 10 seconds. Spirit says negativity always has a messenger. And I guess, I believe, I feel that what Spirit tries to say with that is that the same way positive vibrations, the divine, Mother Earth, whatever divine divinity, energy, vibration, source you believe in, connect to, has messengers, angels, guardian angels. Also, negativity has messengers as well. I'm here perhaps to let you know that they are messengers in your life that keep you restricted and bound so that you are not able to get out. Did you hear me? Negativity has a messenger for you in your life that prevents you from getting out. And it fills you up with uncertainty. It fills you up with confusion. It fills you up with you not believing in yourself enough. For others, it fills them up with, I'm not worthy of this, because maybe you lived a life that you've never really felt worthy about anything. So that spirit, that negative messenger keeps you bound by your inability to feel worthy of something better in your life. Do you understand what I'm saying? We need to work not around it. I don't want us to work around anything anymore. Me, myself, and I, as a spiritual healer, I'm tired of the idea or perception of working around things. I don't want to work around anything that's not for me anymore. I don't want to work around anything that's not about my growth anymore. I don't want to work around anything that keeps me bound and keeps me confused and keeps me sad and keeps me uncertain and keeps me angry and keeps me depressed and keeps me addicted. I don't want to work around anything, because if I keep working around it, it means it hasn't moved. If I keep working around it, it means it still has a strong hold in my life. If I keep working around it, it means it's always with me. I don't want to work around it anymore. Fuck that. I want to overcome this. I want to be able to cross over it and not look back. Whatever it is. Spirit is telling you tonight that in order for you to embrace the blessings that you need in your life, whatever those blessings might be, you're gonna have to revise the circle that you're in right now. The circle that you're in right now, you're gonna have to revise the circle. What does that even really mean, to revise the circle? Well, it means something different to most of us, because we are all not in the same situation. We are all not in the same environment. We all don't have the same people in our lives. So therefore, how I might need to change my circle may not be the same way you need to change your circle. But whatever that means for you, it must be done in order for you to start receiving the blessings. Because as God in spirit is my witness tonight, as God in spirit is my witness tonight, I know whomever you are, whoever this message is for, I know you on here. I know you're tired of the spiritual baths. You say, I've done it already. It don't do shit for me. I know you're tired of the cleanse. If you've had healings and cleanse and Reiki or other more hardcore spiritual cleanse, I know you're tired. You don't want to offend anybody. You don't want to offend the spiritual people that you believe in. You don't want to offend your godparents if you have them. You don't want to offend it, but you're tired. You're tired. You're tired of lighting the candle. You're tired of the meditation. You're tired of the prayer. You're tired of the cleanse. You're tired of the healing. You're tired of, you're just tired. New moon goes in and out. Full moon goes in and out. You're tired of setting intentions. You're tired of writing intentions. You're tired of speaking to God, to the universe. You're just tired. Why? Because mainly, obviously, you have not seen results. You have not seen results. And because you haven't seen results, you're tired. How about if I were to tell you that some of you, the magic and what's gonna give power to everything that you do spiritually, in the physical aspect, what's gonna give it power is you changing your circle. Now let me tell you, changing your circle is risky. For some of you, is risky and is also scary. Because you see, some of you, depending upon who or what binds you, it's not just a matter of moving out, going down the street, some of you come from a vibration, from a circle that's so intoxicated that you might even have to move to a new city. You might even have to go to a new state, to a complete new location where you don't know nobody. And the idea, the feeling, the thought of that is too scary for you. It's 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 like, how am I going to do that? I don't know nobody. How am I going to connect with anybody? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? X, Y, and Z. Well, that thought is a messenger of negativity. That same thought is a messenger of negativity, so that you don't take that leap, so that you don't take that walk of faith, so that you don't believe that you have it to do it. So that you don't believe that you have it to do it. Number one. Number two. Some of you already changed and left behind what you thought you needed to leave behind, or the people that you needed behind. You needed to leave behind, or the family member that you needed to cut cords with. But your guilt for having done so still keeps you stuck there. The guilt and the shame, the worry and concern still has you there. You're not physically there anymore. You're not in physical contact anymore, but your mind and your heart keeps you connected to the place that you took yourself out of. Do you hear me? Because some of you already left that person behind. Some of you left that toxic family member behind. Some of you left that job behind. But there's an inner guilt, a self-imposed inner guilt that has you tied down. And it shows up in different ways for different people. For example, you have that cousin that calls you, or that friend that calls you to try to guilt you. I can't believe you left. I can't believe you did this. Everybody's asking about you. They're wondering about what you're doing. They see that things are still have not changed for you. So then that fucks with your mind. And now you're angry. Now you're upset. Now you don't believe in yourself. Because though you change location, the situation has not changed. Did you hear me? Though you changed location, the situation has not changed. Well, if we've changed location and my situation has not changed, then I must change my mind about my current situation so that my situation can change. Did you see the dynamic? Do you see the connection? Some of you changed locations, but your situation has not changed. And if this is you, then perhaps you must do all that needs to be done in order for you to change your mind about your current lifestyle so that your situation can once and for all finally change. That's what I feel my work comes into play as a spiritual healer. That's what I feel, and I strongly believe wholeheartedly where my spiritual work comes into practice. I believe it. Because, wait a minute, I did move. I did leave certain people behind. I did change my phone number. I did change this. I did change that. But my life has not changed. Then what vibration am I carrying with me? What vibration am I holding on to that hasn't allowed my situation to change? It's like, what's going on? What is it? So what is it for you, beloved? Is it the fact that even though you moved and relocated and left certain people behind, you still allow your mama or your daddy to make you feel angry, to make you feel guilty, to shame you, to guilt trip you for leaving them behind, or not doing this or not doing that, or not being that person that continues to enable them? Who's gaslighting you? Who's shaming you? Who's guilting you? And why are you allowing it? Because ultimately then you are guilting yourself. You are shaming yourself. What's it for you? So you're the one that needs to do the work. Because sometimes changing the physical location, sometimes even that is not good enough. Listen, for the past 25 plus years, 28 I would even say, where I've been doing this kind of work actively, personally, and being personally involved. I'm not counting the other years that I've seen it be done by my elders, by my parents, by other people in my community. I'm going to go by the years that I have actively been involved. Let me tell you something. I've seen countless of people be able to at least move from one city to the other, from one state to the other, cross country, etc., 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 change phones, the whole 9 yards. And their issues, their situations for them don't change. You thought that things were going to get better when you got into that new house, and it didn't get better. You thought it was going to get better when you went into your new condo, into your new apartment, and it didn't get better. What Spirit has shown me, has taught me through the experiences of other people, is that though they did change the place, they took still with them the vibration of that place, the vibration of that experience, the vibration of that trauma, the vibration of that abuse, So it's in our body then. It's in our body then. And in order for it to be in our body, it's because it's in our mind. It's in our mind. That's why our mind is most precious. The mind is the most precious and sacred instrument that we possess. Because when the mind says yes, it's yes. But when the mind says no, regardless of what you're doing out here, and you're looking all good, and you're putting the application, and you're, looking better, and regardless of what we do out here externally, if the mind has not changed, then everything that we're doing goes out the window. Do you understand me? Everything that we are doing goes out the window. This is why many people relapse. This is why many people go back to drugs. This is why many people go back to alcohol or whatever the other addictions are. This is why some people go back to gambling. This is why some people, though they were clean for 2 months, though they were clean for 7 years, something triggers them in a way where they lose their mental power and they go back to doing what they say they were not going to do. What they promised themselves that they were not going to do. So not only did I go back to doing something that I promised myself I said I was not going to do, now I got to deal with my own shame and guilt for having gone back to do the things that I said I was not going to do. And then that guilt and that shame puts me further down below. Pushes me further down below. What I'm also trying to tell you tonight, if you haven't caught it yet, to revise your life, you have to revise the circle. Sometimes the circle is not just the people that you associate yourself with. Sometimes the circle is not just the people that you are in relationship with. Sometimes the circle is not the environment that you live in. But sometimes the circle refers to our way of thinking, our way of behaving, our way of acting, our way of doing, our way of seeing things, our way of feeling things. Do you get me? I hear you, spiritual living freedom life. I hear you, beloved. I hear you. I hear you. Do you get what I'm saying? Sometimes it's the circle of the voices I have in my mind. What kind of voices am I in relationship with in my mind? And believe it or not, even though many people from my time when I was growing up, even though countless of those from my parents' time, etc., 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 do not believe in certain things, trust me when I tell you today in 2021, as a spiritual healer that is 100% dedicated to the vibration of Afro-Cuban Lukumi and Yoruba and many different other practices. I'm here to also tell you how important, vital, life-changing self-care is. See, 50 years ago, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, there was not this so much talk about self-care. Our folks, our grandparents didn't have the education, the understanding, the literacy, the awareness of how important self-care really is. They couldn't teach it because they didn't have it. They couldn't teach it to us because they didn't even apply it to themselves. They didn't even know. Life was too busy. Life was too stressful. They didn't have time, so they say. They didn't have time. It's not that they didn't have time. They weren't taught how to take care of themselves. So when I tell you about changing your mind, changing your behavior, changing the way you see yourself, changing the way you see your life, changing the limiting beliefs that you possess inside, self-care comes in, beloved. Self-care comes in. Self-care comes in. You gotta leave room for self-care. Again, self-care means something different to each and every one of us because we all don't need the same things. But it is important to understand how our body, our heart, our mind needs a certain kind of attention, needs a certain kind of care shown by us, given to us by us, in order for us to heal certain things, release certain things, understand ourselves better, achieve greater things in life. Self-care is very important. Self-care is very important. And self-care is not necessarily about trying to fit into what your society says beautiful is, sexy is, handsome is. No. Self-care is your own ability, understanding of what your own beauty is very important, especially if you grew up in an environment or in schools where you were told that you were ugly, when you were told that you had nappy hair, when you were told that your nose was too wide, where you were told that your skin was too dark, that you were told that you are, what's the word I'm looking for? It's in the tip of my tongue. Privileged because, you were fair-skinned. They didn't see you black enough, so you got harassed because you were fair-skinned. You got harassed because you had long, beautiful hair. You got harassed and bullied because you were intelligent, or because you dressed well, or because you had beautiful eyes, or whatever the situation is. Some of us do not even understand what it is to feel beautiful, because even though we were always beautiful, we never got told enough. It was never validated. So as an adult, we created a pattern, a self-limiting pattern within us that doesn't really believe and don't even know how to receive it. There's someone on here tonight. I don't know who you are, baby. I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. But Spirit is telling me that there's someone on here tonight that even though you get told all the time you're beautiful, you don't believe it. We can't believe what we can't receive. You don't receive it because you don't believe it. Your inability to receive it does not allow you to believe it. And not being able to believe it, you cannot solidify what's before you. You cannot solidify your relationship with that potential partner, or with the current partner that you already have. Revise your life by revising your circle. Whether this means your physical circle of people in your life that don't know where you need to go, but God in spirit knows where you need to go, or revising your circle as to how you speak to yourself, act with yourself, believe about yourself, feel about yourself. Am I speaking to anyone tonight? Am I speaking to anyone tonight? Because we got to break those patterns that are within. Maybe your mama was like this, or your daddy, your caretaker, the person who raised you, or your granny. But it does not mean that you have to be like this. It doesn't. It doesn't mean that you have to be like this. Revise your life by revising your circle. On this Resurrection Sunday, Spirit wants you to revise your circle so your life can be renewed. So your life can be renewed. And you being able to renew your life, you will be able to see things in you that you never thought you were capable of. You'll be able to see things in you that you didn't know you had. You will be able to see something in you that no one has been able to pinpoint or signal out or address. But it's already within you. Revise your life by revising your circle. Some of you are battling with depression. Some of you are looking good in front of your friends, in front of other people, but you are broken inside. Some of you change certain place, but you still feel guilty. Because how about the fact that some of us, on one side of the coin, we're asking for blessings. On the other side of the coin, you don't get the blessings because you don't believe you're worthy of the blessings. That's why you don't get the blessings. Let's go there tonight. So you're asking for the things that you don't even believe that you're worthy of receiving. That's why you don't get it. That's why you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't receive it. One part of you is working really hard to make it happen. And the other part of you is sabotaging the work that you're doing. You are a walking contradiction. So we have to do the work. We got to work through that part of you, through that side of you that keeps you in that hamster's wheel, that keeps you sabotaging, that keeps you breaking down what you're trying to build up, that keeps you going back on your word, that keeps reigniting that anger, that keeps reminding you of the scarcity that you came from. And then we can address how to change your drug of choice, because we all have a drug of choice that doesn't necessarily have to be drugs and alcohol. What's your drug of choice? Putting yourself down? Being angry all the time? Because through anger is where you feel that you got the attention and control. What about controlling? Is that your drug of choice? Controlling things. Self-criticism, putting yourself down, feeling sorry for yourself. Letting that unhealed wound, that unhealed inner child, that shadow energy play mind fucks with your mind. That's why I'm ugly, because I was always told I was ugly. That's why I don't get the promotion, because each time I go to ask for the promotion, they look at me, and because I'm overweight, or because I don't look like this, or because I don't do this, or because I don't do that. You put yourself down. Is that your drug of choice? Is your drug of choice is putting yourself down, beloved? So that you can, quote unquote, justify why the blessings have not come? Why the blessings have not arrived? What's your drug of choice? Because sometimes we gotta identify our behavior with ourselves. And then we gotta ask, where does it come from? Where does it stem from? How did I end up believing that about me? Because I was not born believing that about me. No one is born believing the ugly things about themselves. Somewhere along the line, down the line, something happened that allowed that negative seed to grow inside of our mind. We have to be able to uproot it. And in your case, in many cases, what's it going to take? It's you revising your circle. There's certain people that you shouldn't be talking to ever again. There's certain places that you shouldn't be going ever again. There's certain cords that you're going to have to cut. There's certain restrictions and parameters and boundaries that you need to set in place strictly so that you are able to embrace a new circle, so that you're able to pull in new people into your life that can uplift you, that can talk to you about things that will be important for your life. You can't talk to business. I said it already. You can't talk business with someone that has no aspiration of business. Because what they'll do is they'll drain you, they'll suck you dry, and they'll discourage you, and then you give up on your own shit. You need to talk with people that are doing business. You need to talk to people that also want to do business. You need to talk to people that are walking that walk that you see yourself want to be in. Stop taking your blessings to places where it will be contaminated. Stop taking your blessings to places where it will be contaminated, because it won't grow. But as sure as heck will keep you restricted and stuck. Stop sharing stuff with people that don't understand what you're talking about in hopes that they will see what you see. They won't see what you see. So will you stop bringing stuff to people that will not see what you see because they don't have the capacity, the understanding to see what you see? But we got people that always feel the need to have someone else validate what Spirit and God already validated inside you. What is it that some of us have the need? That's a word right there. Okay? Why is it that some of us have the need to have our goals, our ideas, our vision validated by people when God and Spirit and Oricha, whatever you believe in, already validated it in you? But you need that external validation from somebody else. Listen, validation is very important. External validation, yes, is important, but not when we're getting it from the wrong place. Not when we're not getting it. Not when we are looking for it in the wrong place. Not when we're looking for it from people that, in Morocco, Cuban slang language for brain, en Morocco, está tupido. They don't see it. They don't understand it. They don't understand it. Stop taking your blessings to places where it will be contaminated by old mental constructs that are not about growth and prosperity and abundance and healing and self-love and self-care and nurture. They don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. So stop doing it. And in the process of you understanding that you need to stop doing it, don't allow yourself to feel guilty about it. It ain't your cross to bear. It ain't your cross to bear. You have your own cross already that you need to carry until the end. But the problem is that some people's life is contaminated by somebody else's cross that you want to carry. It ain't for you to carry that cross, beloved. Though it's your mother, though it's your son, though it's whomever it is, it's not your cross to bear. Why are you carrying someone else's cross when you are abandoning your own? Your blessings are not arriving because you have abandoned your own cross. Your blessings are not knocking on your door because you have abandoned your own cross. The blessings are not coming into your life because you're carrying somebody else's cross. You're carrying somebody else's burdens. You're carrying somebody else's guilt. You're carrying somebody else's shame. You're carrying somebody else's issues. You're carrying somebody else's confusion. You're carrying somebody else's neglect, self-neglect. You're carrying somebody else's bullshit. You have abandoned your cross. And you feel that life is unfair. And you feel that God doesn't listen. And you feel the Spirit ignores you. And you feel that all the rituals and all the cleanses and all the healings and all the things that you do are in vain. They're not in vain. It's just that you are doing things, doing prayers, doing cleanses, doing rituals with the wrong cross. Oh, my. You're doing rituals and you're doing cleanses and you're doing healings and you're doing meditations and you're doing things while carrying the wrong cross. You're carrying the wrong cross. There is no such thing as having to carry two ANNN66. There is no such thing as having to carry two crosses. There is no such thing. So your question about what if you have to carry two, you don't have to carry nothing that's not yours. You don't have to carry nothing that's not yours. You can't even carry your own child's cross, even though they came from your womb. Even though they came from your womb, you can't carry your child's cross. Your child has to carry his or her own cross. As a mother, as a father, as a caretaker, you can only furnish them with the tools best way you know, so that they can have a foundation that they can build upon. But you can't carry no one else's cross, not even your own child that was in your womb. Not even. We all come with our own cross that no one can carry for us. No one can carry it. I knew that was coming because I was going to talk about that. What if your child has a lifelong disability? Well, let me tell you something. You can look at it as a cross to bear. But number one, when your child has a disability, I have a godchild who has a son that has a disability. When you are a mother to a child with needs, special needs, you still have an obligation to yourself to be the very best that you can be for yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You have an obligation to be the very best for yourself, even when raising a child that has a disability. Because you see, mother's love will never disappear. But if in the process of you attempting as a mother, you feel responsible for carrying your disabled child's cross, you weaken and abandon your cross, therefore not being healthy enough to be fully available for that child that needs you as the caretaker that you are. We could never abandon our own cross. This is the same as those of us that have been on an airplane. Don't they always say, in case of an emergency, wear your mask first before placing it on someone else. Because God knows if you die, if you don't have enough strength, if you don't have enough healing, enough strength, enough clarity, you can't give what you don't have. You cannot give what you don't have. Some of you do the mistake of wanting to care for someone else so much that you forget how to take care of you. You forget how to take care of you. So when we speak about a child in need, a disabled child, a special needs child, that is precious. That is God's gift to the earth and to you. But you have a responsibility to yourself first, so that you can be wholesome. And in being wholesome for you, you can be wholesome for your child too. And it doesn't have to feel like a cross. You know what? Sometimes, I'm not saying this is you, Crystal. I am not saying this is you. This is just coming to me, and I have to say this. You know why sometimes your child's cross feels like it's your cross? Because you feel guilty. That's guilt. You feel guilty. You feel guilty that they are in the situation that they're in. You feel guilty that they're experiencing what they're experiencing. You feel guilty that X, Y, and Z. There's guilt. That's not what Spirit and the universe and God wants you to feel about your child. You shouldn't feel guilty. That child came to this earth. Even though we don't like to hear this truth, that child showed up to this earth the way God wanted him or her to show up to this earth. When we talk about a special needs child, that's a very deep one for me. When we speak about a special needs child, do you know? It is my belief as a spiritual healer, as a spiritist, that child, you're the one that suffers as a mother or as a father, if you're a good father. You are the one that suffers because you wish your child had a different opportunity. You wish your child had the ability to live life differently. But that child that has that special need, that child, listen to this very carefully. That child that has that special need, that child that maybe is autistic or has another kind of ailment, that child does not know suffering. A special needs child does not know suffering unless you teach them suffering. That child does not know neglect unless you teach them neglect. That child does not know shame unless you teach them shame. That child does not feel less than unless you treat them in a way that makes them feel less than. Guilt comes dressed in different forms. Guilt comes dressed in different forms. As all real mothers would, beloved. ANN66. As all real mothers would. As all real mothers would. I haven't met a real mother that would not be willing to lay down her life for her child. But let me tell you something. Whatever you say, whatever you think, and whatever you feel, you always come first. Because if you're not whole, beloved, you're only given limiting resources, energetically, emotionally, spiritually speaking, to that child. You can't deplete yourself in the process of giving you, because you're giving a depleted energy to your child. Don't suffer from your child because you're teaching him or her suffering. You're welcome. You're welcome, Crystal. You're welcome. I don't know it all. There's many things that I don't have experience in because it's not my situation. And what I can offer to you is from a very spiritual perspective, because spirit is what speaks to me in order for me to deliver what I hope is real guidance for a particular situation. So by all means, not that any of you are saying this here in this live, but by all means, this is not about me being right and you being wrong. This is definitely not this. This is not definitely the space I create. This is not definitely the platform that I dedicate my energy and my vibration in my life to. No, it's not. But for those of us that sometimes might disagree with certain viewpoints, we need to be open to receive that viewpoint and address that viewpoint, experience that viewpoint, analyze that viewpoint from outside our ego, because our ego does get in the way, because our ego only knows our own personal experience. So it's very important for us to, there's some things, beloved Lord baby Jesus, in the name of the baby black Jesus, there's so many things that I so strongly disagree with. And then yet, Spirit has taught me, even though you strongly disagree, even though you don't agree with this, you need to be open to hear it, to listen, and see it from outside your ego. And then come to your real conclusion. Anyway, beloveds, I hope tonight's live meant something to you. I came here tonight to tell you, Spirit says, revise your life by revising your circle. Revise your life by revising your circle. Keep in mind that the blessings that your life deserves sometimes is not because you are not deserving it. You don't have the talent. You don't have the beauty. You don't have the knack. You don't have the ability. It's because the circle you're in is not the one that God wants to bless you in. How about that? The circle you are in is not the circle that God wants to bless you in. So regardless of how much you are shamed and guilted by family members or whomever, friends, so-called best friends, stop speaking foreign language to people that won't understand you. Stop speaking foreign language to people that won't get you. I heard something many years ago. I don't know if these are words from someone famous, or I just heard these words and it's always stuck to me for many years. Stop trying to convince people to love you when they have already made up their mind to not do so. And that goes for everything. That goes for everything in life. That goes for anything in life. Stop trying to convince people to see your vision when they have already made up their mind to not understand your vision. Stop trying to bring people into your life that already made up your mind that they don't want to be part of your life. Stop trying to make someone see things about you that they have already made up their mind that they don't want to see about you. Revise your life by revising your circle. And as Spirit said earlier, sometimes the circle that you have to revise is not necessarily the physical circle, but what's going on in your mind. You see, this is a circle. My head, regardless of what shape your head is, regardless of what shape your head is, this is a circle. This is a circle. And circles are representative of life, because the universe is circular. Mother Earth is circular. The primordial mothers live in certain planes. I'm not going to get into that right now. Our mind is a circle because it represents, I'm going into, shoot. Ugh. This is shit that I only share with my close godchildren, and now I share many of this stuff in my Patreon. But let me tell you, my elders used to say, our head is circular for a reason. We don't have a box head. We don't have a triangular head. We have a round head. May not necessarily mean it's even, but it's a round head. And this circular vibration in our head represents the universe, represents Mother Earth inside of us. Do you hear me? Revise your life by revising your circle. Whether it's your physical circle of people, and places, behaviors, and things that you do and keep around and allow them to bind you and restrict you and God knows what else these people do. But revise your circle in the way you think, in the way you feel, in the way you see things, in the way you process, in the way you do you, in the way you show love to you, in the way you show up for you, or revise that circle. It is my prayer on this Sunday evening, on this Resurrection Sunday, may your life be resurrected. May those dead places and spaces in your life be resurrected to what it needs to be in a wholesome kind of way when you have revised your circle. Revising your circle. Because when you revise your circle, then you get to see, wow, I am worthy of love. Wow, though I used to do this or that, I can still be better. One of my favorite sayings that I repeat like 1,000 times a year, a saying from Maya Angelou: when you know better, you do better. When you know better, you do better. It is my prayer tonight that maybe perhaps Spirit gave us a message tonight that allows us to know better. And now we are obligated through our own moral values and code to do better. For us, for me, not for anybody else, but for me. I will not allow my past circles, whether family or friends or acquaintances, or whether my mentality or behaviors and feelings, bring me back, take me back to where I need to be away from. Revise your life by revising your circle. Revise your life by revising your circle. Asheo Modupe. Thank you. Revise your life by revising your circle. Please share this live. So many need to hear it. So many need to hear it. You're welcome, beloveds. You're welcome. You're welcome. blessings to all of you.